Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Mikel Arteta says £195,000 a week Arsenal player was actually feeling sick last night. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta explained that Bukayo Saka missed last night's friendly against Monaco due to illness. The manager, speaking post-game via Football London, said that Saka wasn't too bad, but they didn't want to risk using him. Arteta said he was fine, but after he wasn't feeling great on the bench, we didn't want to use him. I think he had some sickness or some illness or something, so we could not use him. Arsenal fans will be very relieved to hear the issue isn't serious, especially after hearing the update on Gabriel Jesus. Arteta confirmed that the club's leading striker has undergone a small procedure to clear up some knee irritation, so once Saka returns from illness, he may be lining up alongside Edin Ketia for Arsenal's first games of the season. Given Arsenal have had very few injuries during the pre-season, fans will be particularly frustrated to see these issues come so close to the league start. Arsenal, of course, travel to Wembley on Sunday to face Manchester City in the FA Community Shield. Arsenal fans will surely be hoping Saka has recovered from his illness by then. Judging by pre-season, Bukayo Saka looks set for another excellent year in an Arsenal shirt. The winger has undoubtedly been one of Arsenal's key performers alongside Leandro Trossard and will be hoping his side can push for silverware this year. £195,000 a week Saka set his highest numbers for Arsenal in the Premier League last season, scoring 14 goals and registering 11 assists. And if he were to do better than that this season, then he would surely be hoping to be part of a league winning squad. Perhaps Arsenal's biggest concern heading into the new season will actually be their defending. Richard Keys cannot believe what Arsenal have allowed their £45 million player to do. Pundit Richard Keys has launched a scathing attack on Arsenal's handling of Gabriel Jesus' knee issue this summer. Keys took to X to criticize Arsenal's approach to Jesus' latest injury, saying they should have sorted any issues in the middle of the summer. Keys said, "Amazing. How has it Jesus been allowed to party all summer and only now go for knee surgery, which will rule him out of the first few weeks of the season? And it was an existing injury that they know about at Arsenal." You would think Arsenal would be best placed to assess Gabriel Jesus' ongoing knee complaints, but Keys clearly thinks otherwise. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta confirmed after last night's friendly with Monaco that Jesus will miss the season start. Arteta revealed that Jesus had a small procedure that morning to fix some discomfort in the same knee that bothered him last season. £45 million Jesus is obviously key for Arsenal this year, and his absence will be a big blow. Edin Ketia is very capable of debuting in his absence, but Arsenal fans wouldn't want any of their key names missing a crucial start to the campaign, and with Key's comments seeming pretty frivolous, Arsenal will hope Jesus' injury is only a minor blip in his full recovery. Jesus' injury does throw up some interesting decisions for Arteta in the opening games. Whilst Nketiah looked sharp in last night's game, there is still a case for Leandro Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli to play through the middle. Trossard, in particular, has been in excellent form in the preseason and will be hoping to be in Arteta's starting 11. Arsenal do have a very competitive squad this season, something that seemed imperative to Arteta's summer plans, and they may reap the rewards already. Jesus' injury is a big blow for Arsenal, as Keys seem to suggest, but Arsenal do have plenty of replacement raring to go. Mikel Arteta suggests he has not changed his mind about 22-year-old Arsenal player. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has confirmed that his stance over Folarin Balogun's future hasn't changed since Gabriel Jesus' injury. With Jesus set to miss the league start, fans would naturally wonder if that would lead to Balogun staying at the Emirates. However, Arteta, in his post-match comment via Football London, seemed to insist that Balogun will still be on the move this summer. Arteta said, "The plans with Balogun don't change at all, but unfortunately with Gabi, we are not going to have him. We have other options to play with different qualities of players and we will adapt." Given Arsenal's stance appears to have already been that Balogun can leave for the right price, nothing will have changed. Fans may be disappointed to hear that update, given they are yet to see all the progress the USA striker has made in the last year. Balogun appears to be a much improved version of the player who left the Emirates on loan, and given Jesus' injury, it seems the perfect time for Arteta to reintroduce Balogun back into the fold at Arsenal. Perhaps Arteta's perceived reluctance to reintroduce Balogun is down to the player's stance. Quite fairly, Balogun does not want to be a backup player at the Emirates this season, nor does he want another loan move. And Arteta reintroducing Balogun was simply would be as a backup. If Balogun isn't going to be the player that Arteta turns to after Jesus' injury, then Arsenal may need to look to the market again. If Balogun leaves Arsenal, will be reduced to just two strikers, Jesus and Edin Ketia. And whilst both are excellent, that's probably not sufficient for the 50-odd games they will be playing this season. If Arteta doesn't deem it necessary to recruit further, then that may suggest that he sees Leandro Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli as capable through the middle. Both have had promising cameos in the role, but there may be doubts over their output over long periods. Either way, with Jesus' fresh injury and Balogun still looking likely to leave, Arteta has a fresh problem to solve at Arsenal. £140,000 a week Arsenal player now prepared to leave, says Fabrizio Romano. New reports from reliable journalist Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on the future of out-of-favour Arsenal winger Pepe. The Arsenal winger has fallen massively out of favour at the club. He was loaned out to League One side Nice last season. For a 20-year-old, it's never good to be loaned out, as it suggests that the club want to get rid of you. Now, Romano has provided an update on Pepe. He said, Turkish side Beşiktaş have now genuine interest in Nicolas Pepe. He is out of the project at Arsenal and prepared to leave. Negotiations will take place in order to discuss the structure of a potential deal. It's no shock to see the winger surplus to requirement at the club. It's probably best if they allow him to depart this summer. The winger, who is currently on £140,000 a week at Arsenal, showed glimpses of promise but failed to meet the expectations many had of him. He signed for a reported £72 million but could never provide the Gunners with enough goals or assists to become a key player. Pepe is now 28 years old and only has a year left on his contract. If Arsenal are not able to sell this summer, then he could leave on a free transfer next year. This would be a massive loss of money, especially when they signed him for so much. With the club spending a lot this summer, they definitely need to recoup some money for him. With negotiations taking place, it's very likely that Pepe will be moving to the Turkish league this summer. This would be a great move for him. Pepe can still play at a high level, trying to battle for a league title and get a lot more game time. Meanwhile, Arsenal would get some hefty wages off the bill. Nigel Winterburn believes Arteta will demand 24-year-old Arsenal man is more attacking next season. Nigel Winterburn believes that Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is going to demand Declan Rice be more attacking next season. Winterburn was commentating on Arsenal's penalty shootout win over Monaco for the club's streaming service. Mikel Arteta picked a relatively strong team against the French side, but there were some key omissions. Bukayo Saka was an unused substitute as he wasn't feeling well, while Martin Odegaard came off the bench in the second half. The glaring omission was Gabriel Jesus, who it has been revealed had a small operation this week and will miss the start of the season. Arteta did some tinkering with his side yesterday and started Declan Rice alongside Thomas Partey in midfield. Rice looked brilliant in a more attacking role, and Winterburn believes Arteta will demand the England international does this more often. The 24-year-old's ability to play in multiple roles in the center of the park will be one of the reasons why Arsenal spent such a large sum on Rice. He linked up brilliantly with Gabriel Martinelli on the left and was unlucky not to get on the score sheet. Covering Arsenal's win yesterday, Winterburn said, "Yeah, I think he's got the ability to be able to carry the ball not only from defensive situations but high up the pitch as well. I expect him to be involved this season with Arsenal up the pitch as well as in that defensive position that we know that he can play. I think Mikel Arteta will demand much more from him." Declan Rice has a huge role to play next season, but it will be interesting to see who starts the season alongside him in midfield. After being linked with an exit this summer, Party showed why Arteta was reluctant to let him go yesterday. New signing Kai Havertz came off the bench after an hour and replaced Rice, and he too could partner the England international. That would mean Rice playing deeper, but it's easy to see why Winterburn thinks Arteta has to play further forward. Owen Hargreaves says one Arsenal player is completely misunderstood. Owen Hargreaves has suggested that Kai Havertz is misunderstood as he insisted that Arsenal summer signing's talent is undeniable. Hargreaves was speaking to TalkSport as he responded to a question regarding whether the German international has the attributes to play in the middle of the park for Mikel Arteta's side. Arsenal sprung a major surprise this summer by targeting Kai Havertz. Of course, the Gunners came close to winning the Premier League title last season. Havertz, meanwhile, has come in for a lot of criticism during his time in England. He failed to live up to expectations at Chelsea, and it's still not exactly clear what his best position is. Nevertheless, Arsenal decided to spend a huge sum to bring the 24-year-old to the Emirates. It appears to be a gamble, and you could understand if some Gunners fans were a bit baffled by the club's decision to make a move. But Hargreaves has defended the former Bayer Leverkusen star. He suggested that Havertz has the quality to be a superstar, but his style on the pitch has led to a perception that he is lazy. He said, "I love Kai. I think he's got so much talent. His body language is a bit like Mesut Ozil. I think he is misunderstood. He doesn't have to be nasty. All he has to do is get on the half turn and get his head up. But I think he gives them a huge opportunity to rest Saka, to rest Odegaard, to rest Gabriel Jesus. He can play in all three of those positions. Plus, he can play deeper. His talent is undeniable. What is he? 6 feet and 2 inches. He's good in the air. He can do so much." It's a massive season for Havertz's career. Arsenal fans are prepared to give him time, and Mikel Arteta is obviously going to put plenty of faith in him, but he has plenty of doubters to silence given his struggles at Chelsea, and the pressure has only ramped up now that he has moved across the capital for another hefty fee. Arsenal may make very light move to sign £60 million Premier League player if he is still available, says a journalist. Arsenal have already spent around £200 million this summer, but they could still have one or two more rabbits to pull out of the hat. Indeed, David Raya is apparently close to joining the club. And according to Dina Jones, speaking on the Ranks FC Ultras podcast, you can't discount the idea of Joao Cancello making a switch to the Emirates either. According to Jones, Arsenal is still having a fleeting interest in the £60 million man, and while Barcelona may be the front-runners to sign the Portuguese star, Arsenal are very much a backup option at this point. Jones shared what he knows about Cancello. He said, "I'm not sure Barcelona have the straight cash to sign Cancello. The same problems as always. No way back for Cancello at Man City. Arsenal have been keeping tabs on the situation. They are not desperate to sign Joao Cancello. It was always put to me that was one they might pick up in the last 2 weeks of the transfer window if Cancello is still available. At the moment, I would say front-runners are Barcelona. Backup option potentially would be Arsenal. Arsenal spending that sort of money on him would be somewhat doubtful." There is already an argument to make that this is the greatest transfer window Arsenal have ever had, but if Cancello comes in, that would be the icing on the cake. It would be a luxury signing. It would arguably be unnecessary, but it has to be said that it would be an incredible addition. Yes, he is no longer wanted at Man City, but we must not forget just how brilliant he was for Pepe Guardiola's side when he was at his best. Cancelo would cap off what has been a wonderful window for Arsenal. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.